In this video, we're going to talk about mammals. And more specifically in this video, we are going to focus in on the primates, which includes humans. Just to review, mammals are in the domain Eukarya, kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, and then the class is where we really start to differentiate from the other animals and especially the other vertebrates. Within the class Mammalia, we can further focus in on the primates by looking at the order, which is the next level of taxonomy, and we're becoming more and more specific. And so we're going to talk about some prosimians, which includes things like lemurs and bush babies, and anthropoids, which includes monkeys, apes, and humans. And we're really going to focus mostly on the monkeys, apes, and humans. The anthropoids can be further divided into Old World monkeys and New World monkeys. So let's first take a look at the Old World monkeys. And they are called Old World monkeys because they were discovered by Europeans in Europe, Africa, and Asia prior to the discovery of the Americas. So remember, we're kind of focusing on European discovery here, whereas the New World monkeys already existed. The Europeans just didn't know about them yet. Some examples of the Old World monkeys include apes that do not have tails. So for example, a gorilla does not have a tail and it is an ape. There are also monkeys that do have tails, but they are not prehensile. And we'll talk about this word prehensile on the next slide when we talk about the New World monkeys. Old World monkeys are also more likely to spend more of their time on the ground rather than up in trees. They are generally considered more intelligent than the New World monkeys. They include non-human primates such as chimps, gorilla, and orangutans. They also include humans, so we are Old World monkeys. The New World monkeys were discovered by Europeans later on, and they are native to the Americas, especially in places like Central and South America. The New World monkeys are more tree-dwelling, so they're more likely to be up in the trees. They also have prehensile tails, and these prehensile tails basically have the ability to grip. So the tails almost act like a fifth limb in that the monkeys can like swing by their tails or they can grab something with their tails. So the muscles are developed in a way that they can grab things with it or hang by it. In general, primates are known to have large brains, especially compared to other animals. They have modified claws that are changed into flattened nails, so you can look at your own hands and see your fingernails. Primates usually only have one offspring per pregnancy, although it is possible to have twins or triplets. And they have more upright bodies rather than walking around on all fours. Primates also have some adaptations for climbing trees, and tree climbing or swinging through trees is known as brachiation. And that prefix of brake means arm. So the major muscle in your upper arm is the biceps brachii. You have the brachial artery that runs through your arm. You have the brachial nerve that runs through your arm. And so that prefix stands for things associated with the arm. So primates have a rotating shoulder joint. So that's the ball and socket joint. There's a large gap between their thumbs and big toe and the other fingers. So you can kind of see that on this picture here. One exception is humans. We don't have that big gap between our big toe and our other toes, but we do have it between our thumb and other fingers. So this is just to clarify, large gap between thumbs and fingers, and a large gap between the big toe and the other toes. Primates also have stereoscopic vision, which basically means that we have two eyes, and the fields of view of those two eyes overlap each other. So you can kind of see this like purple area here, where both of these eyes are able to see material or information in this area. This helps to give primates an increased perception of depth and distance. And so this comes into play if you are, for example, swinging through the trees and you have to grab that next tree branch. It's helpful for you to know how far away it is. Now, as we look at our classification, getting more and more specific, we're now going to focus in on the family of Hominidae. And this is more specifically going to be looking at some other apes like chimps and gorillas and humans. So humans are in family Hominidae. This phylogenetic tree is looking at human evolution, and humans evolved about 200,000 years ago. So we are a relatively recent addition to planet Earth. You can see us here, humans, on this phylogenetic tree. And we share a common ancestor with the apes. So you can see gorilla and orangutan, gibbons and baboons. So these are all different types of apes and monkeys. And we have the shared common ancestor back here. Now, we are not the only human-like primates that have existed on this planet. So you've maybe heard of things like Homo erectus, you've heard of Neanderthals, maybe you've heard of Homo habilis. And so there have been other human-like primates that have existed, but they are now all extinct. And so modern day humans are the only ones that have survived to today. So some characteristics that are specific to humans and the extinct relatives that we talked about, so like Homo erectus and Homo neanderthals, are things like being bipedal, meaning that we walk on 2 feet. We have larger brains than all the other mammals, including the primates. And we have what they call fully opposable thumbs. And you can kind of see that in the picture here. But what an opposable thumb means is that you can touch your thumb to each of your other fingers on the same hand, and they can make that contact. So if you make like an OK sign, that's opposition. But you could also touch your thumb to your middle finger, and that's an example of opposition. You can touch your thumb to your ring finger and then your thumb to your pinky. And those are all examples of opposition or having opposable thumbs. So now if we look at the classification specifically of humans, we can work our way down. So domain Eukarya, kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, class Mammalia, order Primates, family Hominidae, and then the genus is Homo and the species is Sapiens. And so we are Homo sapiens.